to the Ohio Business Spotlight. I'm your co host, Tony Miltenberger, with my dear friend, Greg Fay. Greg, why don't you tell everybody who we have today?
We've got a good one today because he's worn many hats and he's had a couple of different careers, and they're all distinguished. They're all careers that I look up to. But right now, he wears the hat as a business owner. And if he chooses to tell us about his side hustle later, he can kind of eke that in. But we really are excited to have Mike Brunett, the owner of Club 51 Fitness here in Centerville. Welcome aboard, Mike.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Mike, I know that you've done some amazing things throughout your life, from serving our country as a Marine to a Dayton police officer, and then eventually becoming owner of a gym. How do you make a transition from protect and serve to being an entrepreneur owner of a community space like Club 51?
Um, it was by chance. It wasn't designed. I retired from Dayton Police Department on a Friday. A friend of mine was managing the gym, which was Neil Limits at the time. So I started there part time on Monday morning. Didn't want to sit around and become lazy, so started working part time. He ended up getting deployed to Iraq. The gym got a new manager brought in. Within months, the gym was sold. It became Club 51 Fitness. That manager wasn't. He was kind of absentee, and the owner of the Club 51 then turned the reins over to me to start managing. When he bought it in 2010, managed it from 2010 to 2015, which time the owner of the gym, which was the owner of the building it's in, decided to simplify his life, as he said, and offered me the opportunity to purchase the gym, which was never on my bucket list to do so. But I'd been running it for 5 years, and we built up, community, and I was welcoming to take the reins. So.
So in that transition, you had the opportunity to see some speed bumps and see some things go wrong. Maybe not on your watch during the last 5 years when you've owned it, but certainly as a manager. What's taken place that had jumped out of the bushes at you the most, surprised you the most, and when you look back, you can see how much it grew you or improve your operation? What's that one thing or two things you can think of?
Uh, the first thing that pops into my mind when you talk about road bumps is, the thing we all dealt with was March 17th, 2020, when the state of Ohio told us we had to shut our doors, and didn't know if we'd ever open them back again. And so myself and a couple of the other longtime employees, we didn't sit at home. We went in every day as if we were going to work to make improvements to the gym in hopes that the next day that we would get the word that we could open up. That was, probably the biggest challenge that I'd faced in the entire time. Which everybody obviously did as well. Um, Opening the doors back up, it was uh, obviously a highlight, but the exuberation of the people coming through the doors was something I'll never forget. That the first week we were reopened, it was just an amazing feeling.
Now, Greg and I are both members of the gym, and so we're a part of that community. And that's something that I really wanted to kind of lean in on, is that you've done a lot more than just build a fitness facility. You've built a community of people. And that exuberance is because our friends are there, because our connections are there. What would you say that the number one thing that happened, that kind of you started practicing to switch from just a business about fitness to an actual a community that supports each other in their goals?
Um, it's I honestly have to give this one up to God, to be honest with you. I believe that, uh, coming from the environment, the occupation I previously held, which was in law enforcement and in Dayton in particular, you become callous and to society. And you're dealing with evils in society day in, day out. You know, interacting with people is always a negative. Even good people are in crisis when you're dealing with them. So it taints your view on society. You know, 100% believe that God his plan was for me to land at Club 51 Fitness, to honestly see the good in society and that there were really good people in this world, which was displayed very quickly to me. You know, so I think it was at that point where, you know, we are one of the few independent gyms in the nation still, amongst all these corporate gyms. And so, you know, I realized really quickly how the sense of community that was possible there, and that was our biggest asset, is that we needed to make sure that people on the outside knew that we are a community within a community. Centerville is, you know, a very tight group community, and I wanted to expand upon that and build that community within the gym.
I want to go back to Mike because this is going to sound dumb, but I didn't even think of COVID when I was thinking about, okay, what's Mike going to say? And man, what a hurdle. I understand the exuberance of when everybody got a chance to come back in. What would you say? There's going to be some other entrepreneur out there or business owner out there that has had a hurdle that big. And gosh, I hate to think of it, but there may even be a business owner that has a more difficult situation confront them. What did you and your team do that you felt like, you know, helped you navigate that difficult landscape? And what would and that you could, you know, take, what's a portable skill that you guys used that you'll use to get past difficult hurdles going forward?
Perseverance. You have to adapt, overcome the different hurdles you face, and you know you have to stay positive, and take the challenge head on. It's easy to get frustrated. It's easy to put your head down and just, you know, let things be. You know, but as a business owner, you don't have that luxury of doing that. You have to adapt. You have to come up with A, B, and C options to try to move forward. You can't just rest on your laurels and hope everything will be, you know, the way you want it to be. You have to actually make it that way. You know, so we faced, that was the biggest. You asked the biggest. That was the biggest. You know, so we've obviously faced others. It's a very difficult industry. It's very oversaturated. To stay relevant, that's a difficult hurdle to overcome. You know, so you have to evolve and you know, try to appeal to a broad amount of people, but yet stay true to who you are. You know, that was one of the things that honestly I was guilty of early on, is trying to be like the other guy, and we did a huge $710,000 renovation last year. And you know, I designed the layout, and it was amazing to see that come to life, what I envisioned. But at that point, I realized that, you know, we have a special, unique gym, that we needed to stay true to who we are, and that's that we are a local community gym that is family friendly, that is welcoming to everybody, a high school kid to a person who, I mean, we had a 92-year-old, the oldest person we've had was 97, who was actually a power lifter. He deadlift 325 pounds on his 97th birthday.
Wow.
It's incredible. So we are, you know, we're there for everybody, and it's about, you know, that, like I said, that community, and just being welcoming to everybody. A gym can be very intimidating. I mean, you know, if I'm out of town and I go into a gym, it's intimidating walking through that door. So that's the hard part for people to do. So, we me and the staff that I've had different staff throughout the years. I've been very fortunate with the people that we've had. As you guys know, we've we have usually college age kids who are there while they're in college, and one of the things that they pride themselves on as well as I do is being very interactive with the members. Speaking to them, getting to know them, and as you two know, as older gentlemen who are entrepreneurs as well. As you get to know people, like these young guys, I tell them, I feel like a mentor to all these staff members that are college kids, but I've
Hmm.
seen it over and over again. It just opens up doors that they really never even expected to happen, and it may take them, and it has taken them in different directions. So, that kind of goes to, like you were saying, maybe an entrepreneur that's out there. Just stay open to possibilities, and have conversations and interact with people. You never know who you're talking to or who you're going to meet that may open a door that you didn't even expect to be there.
That's so good. I love that. And I also love how open you are with your staff that you know that they're not going to be there forever. You happen to have a long term staff, but obviously they're working towards something, usually in college. And so you have the responsibility of hiring and keeping culture on a regular basis. What's the number one thing that you look for when you're hiring that young man or woman to be the face of your business?
Uh, Personality would be the biggest. But then again, I've had a couple introverts who have really adapted and become extroverts. So it's just maybe just that gut feeling from being in law enforcement. I don't know. I've had some duds. Don't get me wrong. I haven't had 100% success rate with hiring people, but I have been very, very fortunate to have a really good group of staff. And I can't do it by myself. I haven't done it for the last 10 years by myself. Everyone who has worked there has been a part of who we are and where we are now. So I have to give them credit because, like you said, long term, it's incredible, especially today. The way society is and work ethic. But I've been very fortunate. They usually stay their whole 4 years of college, and then example, I've got one young man who he has his career job starting next month, and he's wanting to stay on part time as he moves into this. They just he's not unique. They just want to be a part of Club 51. They don't want to let that go, and they will always be a part, whether they're or not.
Hmm. I want to go back to what you said. You said that you needed to find a way to stay relevant. And I love that right there because no matter what business you're in, I don't know if you have to recreate yourself. I love how you said the gym has stayed true to who you are and who the patrons are that come there and have memberships. But staying relevant really requires a lot of paying attention about what's going on in an industry. Can you elaborate just a little bit more on staying relevant and the business owner out there? It just struck me because there's so many times that we feel like we have to say it a different way, we have to market a different way, we have to do so many things different while still keeping the core culture that we have. Can you elaborate a little bit more on maybe advice on, doesn't matter what industry or what business someone is in, maybe helping them staying relevant? I just love that term that you use.
Yeah, I'd say that probably for me in the gym itself, um, it staying relevant was keeping our name out there. Um, it'd be I learned this in real estate. I was doing really started in real estate in 2012. That was one of I met the owner of Iron Gate at the time at the gym before I bought it, and got my license and pursued that while I was managing. And But when the opportunity came to purchase the gym, I still had the license, but I put it on the back burner. And I found, because I wasn't relevant, I wasn't staying in front of people, I wasn't reminding them that I was there. I become irrelevant. And, oh, I forgot that you were a realtor. I forgot you did that. So I use that example with Club 51 because even though that's been there for 25 years now, I still find people that come in every now and then. It's like, I didn't even know you were here. I've lived here all my life, didn't know you were here, which I find, incredibly hard to believe, but it's true. So, people are busy. 48 is a busy street. So you don't, your people are looking at their phones, they're looking at traffic, they're not paying attention to their surroundings, so I get it. So staying relevant is, to me, staying in front of people, keeping our name out there. We do social media. That's the biggest marketing we do. We'll put some ads out through that. But our biggest asset is our member base and the word of mouth. And like I said, staying relevant. The gym is 25 years old. The facelift that we did, where it was very painful. January of 2024 to September of 2024. I mean, the members had to put up with a lot of construction and walls up but to stay relevant in this environment, I mean, we had to do that. We had to make that leap and basically change the inside and the look and come up with something fresh and that was appealing to the multitude of people. We still stayed, like I said, true to who we are as a gym. We're not a boutique. We're not a strictly group classes. We have it all, and but we had to do that renovation to stay relevant and to keep competitive.
One of the things that I appreciate and love about your entrepreneur mind is that it is constantly moving, right? Your morning time, I happen to know that you get about a million thoughts that go through there, and you're always willing to go on to do something else in addition to the gym, right? The gym is always the community, and then what I've known is that over the years you have created different avenues and opportunities to serve that community in a more holistic way. I'm wondering if you might tell us a little about the move that you made. I guess it was about a year ago, I suppose now, and then kind of how that serves your overall gym community.
Yeah, so I appreciate you bringing that up. As my I wish I had the opportunity to jot everything down in a matter of minutes to everything that's popping through my head in the mornings. But by the time I get to the gym, like three fourths of them are gone. So I try to retain as much as I can. But what you're referring to, I believe, is I transitioned. I partnered with New York Life. I a few years ago I got my health and life insurance license, and the health aspect just wasn't appealing to me. It felt very salesy. The New York Life reached out to me. We had meetings, met with them, and everything felt right. And so, along with the lines of, I think, what you were kind of alluding to, the servant part of that is I didn't realize it, at the time until months later, that my entire life had been about serving others, the Marine Corps, police department, the gym, and the interaction with people and assisting them, helping them, the staff that worked for me, helping them obtain, employment, different places, meet different people. So then the life insurance with New York Life and everything that comes with that company just really aligned perfectly with everything that had been instilled in me and who I am. And so, I moved forward with that, and it's worked out really well. Obviously, I've met with quite a few of the members of the gym and assisted them in with some protection pieces, life protection pieces, for their financial future and their family's financial future. And at the end of those meetings, it feels really good that I was able to, put that in place for them and walk away feeling really good.
I hear a consistent, Mike, anybody that listens to this, I think that they're going to go back and they're going to pay attention to how the employees that you had were really part of a community, part of family, that you were constantly mentoring them, even though you knew that some of them were only going to be with you for the 4 years that they were going to be in college. You really invested a lot in them, and I think that a lot of entrepreneurs, when they watch this, are going to take that away, take that away, and try to hopefully copy some of that in their business. I know that's what I heard, and I also love that not only is your customer base, but you created it with a community, and it's a lot more. You're way more interactive. I love how you said that you encourage all your employees to get to know the staff, not only so that they can better serve them at the gym, but they never know what type of opportunities can be created from that. So I think that's what people are going to pull away from it. Certainly what I pulled away in the notes that I took. So Tony, take us away here, buddy.
Mike, we're so thankful for our time together today. One of the things that we love to do, because we believe in abundance mindset and lifting up other businesses, what are three Southern Miami Valley businesses that you love that we should highlight here on the Ohio Business Spotlight?
Oh man,
I'm getting ready to write them down right now.
We're putting you on the spot.
You are putting me on the spot.
But you know a ton of people, right? You know a ton of people.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I know you've done quite a few of the people that that's coming to mind already. So
I would love to talk to the person who just worked on your roof. If you want to give them a shout out.
Yeah, so it's Southern Ohio Carpentry. They actually did our deck and our roof structure. It's owned and operated by a local guy out of Lebanon, but still local. He comes up to Waynesville, Centerville. He was a great guy, and highly recommend him. So you talked about roofing. He does. His main isn't roofing. It's more construction related. With housing projects, decks, and so on. So, switching gears back to the roofing, Andy Johnson, who has Johnson Restoration, who's a gym member, is, an amazing entrepreneur. And I think he's maybe dipping his toes in a little bit of, outside of that territory. So I'll let him elaborate on that. And then number three, we his friends call him Pirate Ron, just because he used to wear a headband on his head. Ron hasn't been a gym member for years, but he's a great guy. And I would slaughter his last name. It's a long Italian name, but he owns Alley Cat Printing in Centerville. And Ron has been in business for a long time, and a very long time, and very successful.
Since 1996.
Okay, there you go. And I think Ron would have a lot of impact on your YouTube.
That's a great one right there. I've had an opportunity to interact with Ron quite a bit this week right here.
Okay, yeah.
Love it. Mike, thank you so much for all of your wisdom, for your servant's heart, for what you do to build community, and for lifting up other business owners. As always, the Ohio Small Business Spotlight exists to just shed a little light on business owners in our community, because we believe that as the business owner goes, so does the community. So thank you all for being here today. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel, share this episode with a friend, maybe somebody who you know is looking for a really good gym. And we'll be back next week with a brand new episode of the Ohio Small Business Spotlight.
Thank you, guys.